Hello, welcome back to another LEGO review video. Today we're going to be looking at the new UCS TIE Interceptor. Now I apologize, it's been a while since I posted. I've just been very busy the past month and a half, but hopefully I can get back to a more regular posting schedule. With that being said, I picked up this set on May 1st along with the buildable Droideka, and with that I was able to also get all three GWPs. This set initially sparked a bit of controversy as it seemed people were disappointed in the choice of LEGO making a UCS Interceptor rather than something they haven't made before, which I completely understand. I, however, was super excited when this leaked. Being a huge original trilogy fan, my first UCS set ever was the 2015 TIE Fighter, then later the second UCS X-Wing and Snowspeeder. I definitely wanted them to continue making the standard ships from both the Rebel and Empire fleets. As you can see, this is a fairly decent sized set, and barely fits on my desk for clean filming, but I'll try my best. So, spinning the set around, the majority of the bulk of the build is made up of these solar panel wings, which have a lot of nice detailing. There's a lot of small greebles added to the outer bits of the wings where the cockpit connects, and the black panels are actually completely studded, which is an interesting design choice, but doesn't really take away from the Interceptor at all. Moving along the back, the round shape of the cockpit is mostly built using a combination of sloped round tiles that many people have pointed out look like suspenders. The other wing is almost identical, and I say almost because there is a minor difference that I'll get into later when we take a closer look, but these details here are identical. As we come back to the front of the Interceptor, we can see another set of those suspender-like builds to shape off the roundness of the cockpit, and we'll take a closer look in just a second. Here is a closer look at the cockpit, and I'll be honest here, on camera and in the set pictures, the suspenders are very noticeable. However, in person, it's really not as bad. They are there, but my eyes don't really catch them as easily. Not sure if that's due to the way the camera picks up the light or what, but it's definitely better looking in person. We also get the same printed windscreen piece from the 2015 UCS TIE Fighter, and I'm glad this is a printed piece and not a sticker, although the set does have quite a few stickers, but we'll get into that later. I believe these are laser cannons here on the front just beneath the windscreen, and overall the round shape of the Interceptor cockpit is captured pretty well. However, there are a lot of gaps between the windscreen and the different tiles the designer chose to use. Not a big fan of how gappy it is, but that is sort of the limitations of this building technique. An unfortunate side effect of the gappiness is that some miscoloring can shine through. Not sure how well it's showing up on the camera, but within the laser cannon gap, there is some yellow that can be seen when looking at the right angle. This is definitely not an obvious find though, and as a whole the cockpit still looks really good in my opinion. On the backside we can see more detailing with the dark gray game controller piece, really nice usage of that part, and that's mirrored on both sides. The back is not fully symmetric though. There is this Technic pin that represents something, although I don't know entirely what that is in universe, and there is also this dark gray slope mixed in, breaking up the light gray. If I angle the model correctly, we can get a better look at the hexagonal shape that is pretty iconic to the back of most TIE models, and I believe that represents a back window in universe. However, here it is clearly not transparent and just uses black tiles and studs to represent depth. Also represented are the twin ion engines that give the TIE models their iconic names. And these make good use of the parts they have to perfectly angle the engines to point straight back. Interestingly, they added a fair amount of greebles to the inner backsides of the Interceptor panel. This almost seems unnecessary, as I'm sure most people won't be displaying the model in a way that allows for viewing on the backside, but it is definitely really nice to see that the designer went the extra mile. They used a decent amount of different pieces to add detail, which again isn't really going to be seen in most cases. We'll see that this trend continues later as there are more detailed areas that are even harder to see. This is mirrored to a certain degree on the other panel. The same exact parts are used, but some of them have been flipped, where on one side the piece may be on the top, but on the other panel it is at the bottom of the greebled area. The top also reuses the same TIE Fighter dome piece as the 2015 UCS TIE Fighter, and from this angle we can really see a lot of the big gaps caused by the design style of the cockpit. Again, these likely won't be seen due to the display style of the set, but they are there. This of course opens up to reveal the interior, and I must say, the designer went all out when designing the details of the inside. This is going to be hard to see, and I unfortunately didn't take any B-roll to show while I was building, but there is a ton of triangular panels and stickers all throughout the cockpit, literally surrounding the pilot seat, which while I was building continuously made me imagine what it would be like to sit in a full-scale interceptor. You can see some of the sticker details, but it's something that I think you really have to build yourself to get an appreciation for everything that's inside the cockpit. And yes, I did say stickers. I really wish they were printed, as I really hate applying stickers, but sadly they're not. Still, they do add a ton of detail to the interior, which again unfortunately won't be seen due to how enclosed the cockpit is. Alright, and if we take a closer look in between the panels, we can see the one noticeable place that is not symmetric between the two, and that is with the sensors represented by these candlestick pieces. They're enclosed by shovels, which is a callback to the original UCS Interceptor, and still a great way to achieve this look. There are two candlesticks on either side, with the one sticking out noticeably further. On the other side, we can see that the candle lengths have been swapped from top to bottom. Again, the shovel pieces enclose the sensors. On all four panel tips, there are laser cannon representations. These get the job done, however they are only connected by a single stud, which makes them prone to being knocked off when handling if you're not careful. It's not really an issue if you're just displaying though. The Interceptor has a very familiar UCS stand connection, with it just being slotted in with no actual stud connection. This is a pretty common technique among similar UCS sets. And we can see that there is just a small square hole at the bottom for the stand to feed into. And now with the model off the stand, let's take a look. The stand is designed in a similar way to the original UCS Interceptor and X-Wing stands, with the cross-shaped footprint and the plaque attached directly to it and not on hinges. It is at a fairly steep angle, and that can be adjusted but not by much. Other than that, there isn't much to say about the stand itself, but there are some complaints about the shiny versus matte finish of the information plaque. In some reviews, it was seen that the shiny plaque came with smudges and marks, but that wasn't the case for me, and I think the shiny plaque looks fine. In front of that plaque, there are places for a unique TIE pilot, Mouse Droid, and the same 25 years of LEGO Star Wars brick. I think the TIE pilot was a good inclusion, but the Mouse Droid and brick were a bit unnecessary to me. In a set like this, there really wasn't any need for those extra bits, and to me they don't really add anything other than that we just get them in the set. The TIE pilot we get is a unique figure, and I apologize for the lighting. It's not great, and the figure is dark so it'll be difficult to see, but this figure is unique to this set, which is always nice. On the front, there's a lot of nice detailed printing. The right arm of the figure has the Imperial insignia and other details moving down the arm. The left arm has mirrored printing, with another added bit of detail closer to the hand. The arm printing is what makes this figure unique. The back of the figure doesn't have any special printing that I know of, but the detail is there. If we remove the helmet, we can see that the head is just the standard head LEGO has been using for a while now. The Mouse Droid we get is a nice build, but again, not really necessary to be in this set in my opinion. Also, because it needs to be connected to the stand, the transparent clear studs needed to be built onto the droid, which that coupled with the extra clip details makes the droid a bit too long. It looks less like a mouse droid and more like a wiener dog droid. In all seriousness though, other than it being slightly too long, it's a nice little build, even if it's an unnecessary one. And I do think the black ingot pieces on the side add good detail to it. So, overall I think this is an incredible UCS set, with only a few issues here and there. I really don't like stickers and would prefer if LEGO would just start printing everything instead, because while stickers added a lot of detail to the cockpit interior, they were a pain to put on given how many there were, and the size of them. There is even a round 1x1 sticker for a 1x1 tile, which is honestly a bit ridiculous to have to apply. Other than that, I think this is a great addition to the UCS line, despite the initial disappointment by fans when it was announced. As I said before, I have the UCS TIE Fighter, and would love for LEGO to keep doing Imperial Fleet ships. Having an updated Vader's TIE Advance and a TIE Bomber would really complete the UCS TIE collection in my opinion, and I hope they do those sets soon, because I would definitely be getting those on day one. In the future, I want to do a comparison video between the Interceptor and the TIE Fighter, but I don't currently have my TIE Fighter in my apartment.
I don't have it with me.
So that will have to be a video for another time. Hopefully soon though. The May the 4th promos are unfortunately over at the time of the release of this video, so the GWP incentives are no longer available to add on to getting this set. However, if you're on the fence with this set, I'd say go for it. To me, this set is fantastic, and I cannot stop looking at it from across the room in the same way that my other UCS sets catch my eyes, and I don't think you'd be disappointed either. If you're a fan of the original trilogy and a fan of LEGO Star Wars, this set is a must-have. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next video.